Today's One Piece theory is about Luffy's mother. There are a lot of crazy and far-fetched theories about this topic, and that's totally understandable, because there's just been little to almost nothing revealed about her so far, and yet everyone wants to know who Luffy's mother really is. We've done our best to come up with our own unique theory on the subject, and it turned out to be a pretty good theory with all the confirmed information available. We explain how it is possible that Luffy's mother could be either the Marine Vice Admiral Gion, or the former Empress of Amazon Lily who supposedly died of a broken heart. Or maybe both ideas even apply at the same time, meaning the Vice Admiral Gion could be the former Empress of Amazon Lily, and also Luffy's mother. I know it's a crazy idea, but honestly, is it more crazy than the crocodile theory? If you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. Please enjoy this video, let's go! There are many mysteries surrounding the main character Monkey D. Luffy, one of which is his mother, the wife of Monkey D. Dragon. The behavior of Luffy's parents is very difficult to understand from the point of view of normal parents. You don't even have to have children to understand that something about their behavior is not quite normal. How is it possible that both of them are alive, but neither of them took care of Luffy? While it kind of makes sense why his father Dragon decided to stay away from Luffy's life, the fact that not even Luffy's mother was part of his life is very strange, especially considering that we can pretty much say that she's not with Dragon, that is, part of the Revolutionary Army. Whenever Oda, the creator of One Piece, talks about Luffy's mother, he gives us a certain feeling as if Luffy's mother is not that important to the story. As if the story of One Piece won't change if Oda decides to never reveal Luffy's mother. Nevertheless, the fact is that there must be a reason why she's not in Luffy's life. Oda must reveal this aspect, otherwise it's simply unrealistic. So what exactly did Oda confirm about Luffy's mother? And to our surprise, he actually mentioned quite a lot for a character who has never appeared in this series before. First, let's start with the rumor that Luffy's mother was apparently already shown in One Piece and supposedly even confirmed to have been drawn in volume 45. This rumor is based on a question from a fan who asked about Luffy's parents. To this, Oda replied that he had already drawn Luffy's parents and will draw his parents again in the next volume. As I said, Oda was referring to volume 45 at the time. But the thing is that his answer was most likely translated into English incorrectly, or rather not accurately. Whoever made this translation came to the conclusion that Oda referred to both parents. But it is not that simple, because in the Japanese language there are no plurals in the English sense. Plural words are usually either preceded by a number or simply made understandable by context, so that in some cases the plural form is naturally understood. Thus, when referring to parents in Japanese, one can infer from the context that either both parents or only one parent is meant. If the context is not clear, one usually names both parents or refers to only one. But people like Oda loves to give enigmatic answers that don't allow an exact conclusion to be drawn. After all, it's One Piece. And so Oda answered that he will draw Luffy's parents. As I said, whether he was referring only to Dragon or also to Luffy's mother is not obvious from the context. Dragon, however, was actually drawn in volume 45, which might lead us to believe Oda was referring only to Luffy's father. Furthermore, Oda was asked what Luffy's mother is like, whether she is beautiful and what happened to her, if she died when Luffy was a baby or if she's still alive. And here Oda answered that he thinks she's still alive and that he generally thinks about the specific character a lot. Therefore, the role of Luffy's mother in One Piece is relatively uncertain, at least at the time Oda gave this answer. There's one important thing to understand about One Piece. Oda has planned the entire main story, but he keeps changing the path from the beginning to the end of the series, which is why the length of One Piece keeps getting longer. I wouldn't be surprised if he extends the deadline he gave us a few years ago by another 2 years. So yes, Luffy's mother could certainly become or already has become an important part of One Piece. This is a story that has been written for 25 years. Of course, Oda has already changed or extended it countless times. Oda then continues by saying that if Luffy's mother does indeed appear in the story, she will be a very tough and strict woman. She's not a beautiful mother by any means. She has that typical permed hair of a middle-aged woman. This comment was made in December 2009, so a lot of time has passed since then. A lot could have changed. This comment, by the way, was made after he said he will draw Luffy's parents in volume 45. So that proves that he was only referring to Luffy's father. So who could be Luffy's mother? Obviously his mother must have a connection to Dragon, and so we need to look at what women Dragon was in contact with. One of the most popular ideas is that Luffy's mother is part of the Revolutionary Army. I personally don't like this idea, it has absolutely no relevance or meaning. Garp also didn't mention that his mother was part of the revolutionaries when he revealed that his father was Monkey D. Dragon. So let's forget about this idea. About 2 years ago, Tanaka, the voice actress of Luffy told the fans something that Oda told her some time ago. According to Tanaka, Oda said, and I quote, "Luffy's adventure began after he left his mother's arms. I want to tell this young man's story in such a way that his mother is not a part of it." From this we can conclude that the moment he left his mother's arms can refer to the moment she gave birth to him and handed him over to Garp shortly after. Because just like Dragon, Luffy's mother probably had her reasons for why she left Luffy. Maybe Luffy actually grew up with his mother for the first few years of his life and just never talks about her. But that doesn't change anything about this theory. This comment also fits very well with other comments Oda has made in the past. In the previous issue of SBS, Oda addressed the fan question about dead or missing mothers in One Piece. Oda said, "That's because mother is the opposite of adventure." So the reason Luffy is without his mother is mainly because having a mother in Luffy's life would have prevented Luffy far too much from becoming the main character he was when the first chapter of One Piece was revealed. His childhood was very important for Luffy's development with Sabo, Ace, Shanks, and Garp, probably to form his dream and will to become the Pirate King. And all this would simply not have been possible with a mother by his side. That alone kind of proves that Luffy's mother wasn't planned into the main story from the beginning, so it's safe to assume that if Luffy's mother is now a part of One Piece, it will be an independent character who is more or less excluded from other plot points. Since One Piece initially developed without taking Luffy's mother into account, obviously Oda realized that it's not so easy to just ignore her existence, not with a story like One Piece. That's why later on her character might have been included somehow and perhaps even in connection with earlier events. What I mean by this is that she's probably either a character that hasn't been shown so far or has only been introduced recently, that is in the last few years. But who could it be? And here we come to the two ideas we have. Luffy's mother could possibly be either the former Empress of Amazon Lily or the Navy Vice Admiral Gion. Or maybe even both, so that Vice Admiral Gion is also the former Empress of Amazon Lily, who is believed to have died of love. Love she had for Dragon. Let's start with the Amazon Lily theory. If this theory is true, then Luffy's mother must have been one of the two former Amazon Lily Empresses. So between Nyan and Hancock, it was said that the previous Empress died of love, and so did the Empress before that. The supposed death of the previous Empress is the only thing that could contradict this idea, since it has already been confirmed that Luffy's mother is still alive. Unless one of the two previous Empresses, or maybe even both, didn't really die at all, but just left Amazon Lily and never returned. And due to the fact that they fled out of love, which most likely happened because of a man, Amazon Lily's elders covered it up by saying that they both died. I mean, think about it. That makes absolutely no sense. That's obviously a lie. You don't die because of love. Perhaps death due to love in this sense has a metaphorical meaning for the death of the two empresses because they left their position due to love, not that they actually died. I will give now the mic to my partner. He will continue this One Piece theory. Enjoy.
For a society that despises men, it is simply better to tell people that they have died than to tell them that two of their former empresses, who stand for the belief in their independence from men, have left them for men, so a lie would come in handy. But of course, the women of Amazon Lily must also somehow produce children, and because of the shortage of men, the women must leave the island to have children. So it is not impossible that the former Empress of Amazon Lily also left the island to get pregnant, but simply never returned because she fell in love with Dragon, for example. We'll get to the question of why Luffy's mother left Luffy alone in this case, even though she didn't return to Amazon Lily, where she couldn't take him anyway because of the no-male politics. Another possibility would be that she actually came back to Amazon Lily pregnant, but for some reason Luffy didn't turn out to be a girl like babies usually do on Amazon Lily. Maybe she was off the island for too long, or whatever the reason could be. So the birth of a son forced her to give him away, and so he grew up alone. Maybe his mother missed him and Dragon so much that she then left Amazon Lily one day, whereupon Neon lied that she died. But this possibility ultimately leads back to the question of why she's no longer with Luffy. More on that in a moment. The most intriguing thing about this idea is that Kuma sent Luffy to Amazon Lily, which suggests that he knows where that island is, and so he's been there before. This means that he had some sort of relation with Amazon Lily in the past, which is why he sent Luffy there, which in turn suggests that Luffy himself might be connected to Amazon Lily somehow. In the past, Kuma was none other than the officer of the Revolutionary Army and thus directly connected to Dragon, suggesting that Dragon too may have had some sort of connection to Amazon Lily and possibly the former Empress, which then supports the idea that she may be the one who fell in love with Dragon and thus maybe Luffy's mother. Let's look at the next possibility before we talk about why Luffy grew up alone. The following can be considered a separate theory or a continuation of the Amazon Lily Empress theory. You will see why at the end. As mentioned before, it is obvious that Luffy's mother must have been in contact with Dragon because of Kuma and his knowledge of Amazon Lily. One can assume the connection to the former Empress, but there is a much more obvious possibility, and that is the Navy, simply because Dragon's father Garp is a high-ranking Marine. In fact, it is likely that Dragon was in the Navy himself because of his father, and there is quite a bit of evidence that could confirm this. Dragon obviously had a very strong sense of justice and seems to be one of the most kindest people in One Piece. He is the person who leads the opposition of the Celestial Dragons and the world government, and that alone makes him one of the most righteous people. So it would never have occurred to him to become a pirate because pirates are nonetheless criminals, even if they oppose the world government. This shows that even though Dragon is against the world government, he does not want to be a criminal. Otherwise, he would call himself a pirate, which he does not. He's the leader of the Revolutionary Army. This is probably because he has the same ideology as his father Garp. Garp has shown a very strong contempt for pirates and hates the fact that Luffy and Ace became pirates themselves. Garp has indeed shown that he has done everything in his power to make both Luffy and Ace strong Marines. The way he talked about it indicates that he did not accept any other career for both of them. So the same can be assumed for Dragon then. Garp probably trained Dragon and made him a Marine. I highly doubt that Dragon wanted to become a revolutionary and overthrow the world government from the beginning. Just as Luffy, for example, who always wanted to become a pirate. Dragon's ideology most likely comes from something that happened at some point in his life that changed his view. But before that, he must have perceived a certain career, which again could only have been in the Navy, where he learned about the true face of the world government and decided to become a revolutionary. So it is not impossible that his child could have been conceived by a woman from the Marines. So which woman in the Marine comes into question, considering all the things that have been mentioned? We know that Luffy's mother is a very tough-looking and strict woman who is not a beautiful mother. She has this typical permed hair of a middle-aged woman. At the same time, we know that she couldn't be introduced much later because Oda didn't intend to reveal her at the beginning of the series. Even many years later, he has confirmed that Luffy's mother is still not part of One Piece. If we blindly look at the characteristics and the facts that we know of Luffy's mother, there is really only one possibility that we have found when considering the idea that Luffy's mother could be a part of the Navy. Navy Vice Admiral Gion. This character was introduced very late and purely based on her look, she very much fits the description Oda gave. Gion is not necessarily what you would call beautiful in One Piece, even though she's not ugly. But Oda never said that Luffy's mom is ugly, just not a beautiful mother. Gion also has the typical permed middle-aged hair that Oda was talking about, and based on her looks, she also seems to be pretty much strict, which makes sense since she made it to Vice Admiral of the Marines. Let's look at the moment when Gion first appeared. It was in the Red Port of the world government. She says that, "Oh come on Garpy, these two are fighting over your grandson. Do you just want to sit back and watch two of the four emperors meet?" From this sentence, we could infer some possibilities about Gion in terms of her relationship with Garp. First of all, they seem to have a closer relationship since she calls him Garpy, suggesting that they may know each other better than other people in the Navy. Such nicknames either speaks to the fact that Gion is a person who simply gives people such nicknames, or else she actually has a very close relationship with Garp. Also, Gion made it seem that she was actually worried about Luffy, which is why she asked Garp if he was planning to do something about it, even mentioning Luffy directly. And she also called Luffy Garp's grandson, which is rather unusual. While it's no secret that Garp is Luffy's grandfather, people don't usually address Garp in this way when talking about Luffy. This is very reminiscent of when a mother talks about her child to either her parent or her husband's parent, while referring to her child as their grandchild. Maybe that was a hidden clue if this theory is really true. The only thing we would need to understand is why she's not with Luffy, and at this point we can only speculate. Even if this theory is wrong and Gion is not the mother, the reason why Luffy's mother was not with him could be literally anything. In the case that she really is a Marine, such as Gion, the reason could be that Dragon left her and Luffy. So she sought revenge by planning to capture Dragon and put him in jail, which is why she either became a Marine, considering that she wasn't Marine before, thus possibly linking the Amazon Lily theory to the Marine theory here. Or she has always been part of the Marines, where she also met Dragon and just stayed in the Marine after Dragon became the leader of the Revolutionary Army. She vowed to capture her husband, which is why she couldn't be a part of Luffy's life, but has maintained a close contact with Garp, her child's grandfather. That's it for today folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on. See you guys in the next video. Yami out.